The people who called you to make sure you were aware that there could be a possible conflict of interest, and you chose to take it as a, what'd you call it, a threat?
It was a threat.
Okay,
Which, yes.
so that was actually not a threat, it was factual, and that's just how it is,
So that's where I want to bring up here to the fact that the greenbelt was never touched by the sheep. The photos that I took were in front of Keno's house, and I can show each and every one of you that. Julie was there with me, and there was no conflict of interest because all I was doing was keeping the sheep off the greenbelt. And since we did bring up the threat, oh, I'm glad Keno's even here too. So, but I had three people, including myself, listen to it, and my position was given. Ken told me that he had to talk to the other board members about it, and it just kind of irritates me that a group of people that keep instigating and instigating and instigating and won't let stuff go, and I don't understand why.
Pam, you want to take that, or you want me to?
Go ahead, I had received some calls as well, and it was kind of confusion of what was going on. I don't think there was any reason that Andrew or anybody else to help anybody. But, I think, like I told you, I think, Andrew, didn't you mention that there were some neighbors that had given permission?
Yes.
And that you double-checked that?
Yes, I did.
I think the one thing that I would mention is, since the judgment states that the permission should be in writing, that you should at least see that, or we should have a copy of that.
Okay.
And besides that, I think that was our discussion, basically, is when I started getting calls, and then some other people I know said that, oh, so-and-so called or so-and-so called, and I don't know all the names, to be honest with you.
So it was just hearsay on top of hearsay?
Well,
and
it's
y'all
just like,
jumped the gun without asking?
Let's put it this way, it was within seconds after it got posted, I started getting some notices.
Well,
And I said, I hadn't even seen it yet, so.
I guess what we could have done was, instead of giving you a heads up as to the possibilities, we could have just filed the paperwork.
Well, follow the paperwork.
So, there's
That's
no
what
paperwork to
that's
be
what I
filed, and
wanna
there's
get
no
at.
argument here.
Is that there is
This,
an argument here, because I
if-
was called
if
by
the
you
board-
on a whim, because.
No, it was not a whim, Andrew. I called you to make you aware of the possibilities. I hadn't seen anything, and you chose to yell and scream and cuss me out.
Because you
So if
threatened
you
my
want to
oath.
record my conversations without my permission again, then we're probably gonna have a problem.
Do I have your, do I?
I don't know, you just said he heard it. Was he sitting there?
He was sitting right
Okay.
there.
I was
Well, then
sitting
he-
right there.
Well, then you
There was
should have
no-
known that there's a lawsuit, sir, and if this gentleman violates the ordinance of that, his seat could be in jeopardy. Nothing I do, it's a vote. It's not me.
Just
And if
because
the man
somebody's
comes-
elected to this board doesn't mean that they have to be a carbon copy of
No, but what
everybody
it
else.
means is
They
they
can
signed
have
an oath.
dissenting opinions.
They signed an oath to agree
And
with
that
the
oath.
prior
They didn't
ordinance.
sign an oath
About that I cannot
No.
help Stephen Keno keep
No,
his sheep off
you're
the
correct.
green belt.
You're correct.
And that's what you were getting
No.
at.
Damn it, he was there helping
you
me
can
because
leave.
I had a mountain lion
Steven,
attack.
either sit
I had a
down
mountain
quiet or
lion
leave.
attack in my gut and my
All right,
body
guys,
was
that's
dying
it.
of
Meeting's
heart.
over. Wrap it
Okay.
up. I'm done. Bye.
You can be
Meeting
removed.
adjourned. Bye. Thanks, Keno. I'd like to have a motion to close the meeting right now.
Well, actually, I don't.
Can I get a second, please?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
We're not gonna have that, last time we had that, we had to
All
have
in
the sheriff
favor?
here.
There's
We're
still
not-
waiting.
three other people that haven't said nothing, so we gonna keep this board going or not?
I'm waiting. Do you not want to do this? You're gonna allow him to keep screaming and hollering? We will.
Can you settle down and we can continue with the meeting?
I could settle down, but I listened to that phone call. He threatened and tried to intimidate him. If anybody should be sanctioned, it should be Ken Barber.
Okay.
Because a board member does not have the right to threaten and intimidate another board member.
Didn't threaten or intimidate anybody.
You tried to
Simply let
intimidate
him know.
too. I heard the
Simply
whole
let
thing.
him know.
Julie
You know, I
heard
haven't had
that
a
too.
problem with you or your sheep since I moved here. I've helped you get them back out of the road. I haven't called you. I haven't called the sheriff. So if you guys want to act that way, that's fine. You know who I am. I've been the same person from the beginning. If I had a problem with you, just like when I called Andrew to try to let him know it could be a conflict of interest, he didn't need to act that way. I thought we were a team
Intimidated
here.
me and you tried to
Okay,
blow
so
it
if that's the case, if that's how he feels about it, that's his personal feeling. There's nothing I can do about that. But I'm telling you right here on the record, it was done so he could be aware of the possibilities. There was no threat. I can't threaten the man. It's the board.
You did.
And you
his
threatened to
board
bring
position.
him in front of the
did
board.
I
threaten my board
heard
position
it.
and bring it in front of the board.
Okay,
There's 3 witnesses that heard that, your conversation.
great.
So you calling all of us liars? Say that right now.
Well, okay, so I can say I'm
Here's
a
the deal.
witness.
Everybody
Just
stop.
like you're-
It's not.
Everybody stop.
It's not gonna get resolved.
It's not gonna get resolved, the sheep issue's not gonna get resolved. This man has not been written up for anything, he's not been censored, there's been nothing said other than a fair, it could possibly happen if you violate the court order. I didn't create the court order, Mr. Keno, you did.
But you
I didn't
also,
create any court
but-
orders.
But you did also say that we could, if, as a board, if we wanted to, because we have the power to do that, to allow his sheep on the green belt, and also the cows, as long as we put them in panels. So now you're going
No,
against what you
that
said.
isn't what I
That is-
said.
I do
said
have that
the
report.
board has the right to manage the private property as they see fit. If you put something together and bring it to this board, it can be voted
No,
on.
hold on. I'll
So
let
is there,
everybody to
is there
listen
a
to this
resolve for the
conversation.
future? We say things when we're angry, we should just let it go. Is there a resolve for the future?
There's already been a resolve. The man continued to help Keno with the sheep and nothing was done. He's the one that brought it
No,
back
in the
up.
future, is there a problem? Is there a do or don't?
There is a possible conflict of interest if any of these board members mess with the sheep on private property, yes. For all of us, not just Mr. Hickman.
Where does it say that?
In the
In the
order
court
from the
order?
court. It's posted.
Where does it say that in the court that any of these
Because
board members that helped me
the order I've read
are
doesn't
in
say that.
violation?
Okay. I'm not gonna argue.
What they do in their private time is nobody's business but
Right,
their
unless
own.
they're trespassing with sheep on my property, your property, her property, her,
Which
his
I
property.
wasn't,
The metro,
Correct. So why are you bringing it back up?
because it needed to be brought up.
Okay, well, the deal is this, the sheep are not allowed on Aspen Springs Metro property, and that's the bottom line.
So
And
now,
if
with
they go
that
on a
being
neighbor's
said-
property, or they go on someone else's property, it's up to that neighbor to go civil with them.
Do we
Take
have
them to
any
sheriff.
horses on the green belt?
If, where?
That's what I'm asking. Do
Not
we
that
have
I've
any
seen.
horses on the green belt?
Where? Not that I've seen.
Because that's what you told me, so.
There are a
with that
couple
being
of people
said,
in the
if
neighborhood.
sheep cannot graze, or the cows cannot graze on the green belt, then the horses cannot graze on the green belt as well. That needs to be put into a motion as well.
Before I was
until it
on
is
the board.
done.
that has been on a motion
Before I was
years
on the
ago.
board, didn't you
Well,
have
I'll
make
bring
a
it up
motion
again.
to allow tethered animals in the green belt?
It was on, it did go in front of the
So
board
it-
years ago, and
So if we
it
tether a
was
cow out there, it's
basically that
okay?
no, until they have written permission per, episode.
So
and
if
so
we
that-
tether a cow out there, it's okay to tether a cow out in the green
No,
belt?
no.
With written permission
From who, us?
from the board.
From the board.
But we can't give Stephen Keno written permission, so
You
why,
can't
so
tether
why
a
is it
sheep.
okay for him not to be able to do it and everybody else too?
Because there's,
It's been one-sided for too long,
It's
and that's
not-
why
Has he
I'm
ever
up
applied
here.
for-
Linda, just hold on. This is the same old stuff. Let him finish. Go ahead, what?
No, I was interrupted, go ahead.
Okay, so
You
is
asked
that
a
all we have to, Linda, is that all we have to say about it? Is there anything else anyone would like to add?
only thing I wanna
I wanna
add
ask
is
a
if it's on private property, that there should be written permission. Just like the judgment says.
That's right.
I have a question. If all the property was given to the Metro District, does that mean it's private property only belongs to the board members or to everybody in the district that is a property owner?
It's private property that belongs to the Aspen Springs Metro District.
To you guys, to
No,
the
to the
board?
board, to the Metro District, not one person.
So we're not part of the district, us property owners, we're not part of the district?
You live in the district.
Yes. But the property owned belongs to the 5 people that represent everybody else in the
That
community.
the taxpayers are paying for.
Right.
They
In
have
other
a
words,
vote.
we're paying for you to tell us what we can and cannot do.
Negative, that
Oh my
property.
God.
Guys, it's just gonna keep going round and round and round, I can see already. So, what we're gonna do is, you do what you need to do, and we will follow the court order. And if any one of us violate any confidentiality or any problems with the court order, then we would be in trouble. And it would be up to the board to make that decision. So, sorry, that's where I stand on it. I didn't start it, and I ain't gonna finish it, but I'm gonna follow the court order that I have to follow. So,
Well, I'd like to go on record saying that when I met with Andrew on the morning, I don't know if it's the same morning in question, but when I got there, Andrew was standing in the middle of the road, keeping the sheep from going down the road, directing them down to Steve Keno's house. So I personally would like to commend Andrew for stepping up, trying to help out, trying to do right by the board by keeping the sheep off of the roads and public property, and trying to do right by his friend, helping him out while his dog was injured or killed or whatever happened to the dog. So I would just like to say that when I saw Andrew there with the sheep, Andrew was keeping the sheep off of the public property and helping herd them to Steve's property.
and when I saw him, I saw the same thing. So,
So that's all, I just want to go on record of saying that. Thank you, Andrew, for helping out.
Thank you, Jake. And with that, the only thing I'm gonna ask is just let the harassment stop.
Yeah.
Let it stop, let it be done with, let it be over. We're trying, he's trying, he downgraded his sheep, he's getting rid of his damn pigs, he's trying. This is his livelihood, and just because y'all move here and don't like it, doesn't mean that he has to change his ways. That's the way he makes his money, period. That's off his livestock. He can't go out and bust concrete or go out and get another job like that. He's 72 years old, 71 years old, that's what he does. His sheep ain't hurting nobody, just because y'all don't like them. You know, there's a lot of things around here I don't like, but you don't see me go up throwing a fit of harassing people about it.
anything else, Mr.
So,
Hickman?
that's all I got to say.
Okay. How about you guys? Anything, Shane?
My opinion is the same as it's always been before I was on board and after I was elected, is that I personally have no issue with Keno or his sheep. My personal views is the Metro has the responsibility to maintain the public spaces, our green belt, in the best interests of all residents. It's not, I mean, the way I see it, it's not that we own it, is that it's our job to maintain it and make sure that everyone has equal enjoyment and access. If someone is grazing animals on the green belt, this creates a taking of sorts in that they are taking something from the green belt, not replacing it. If everyone enjoyed that same access to where they took the same amount, there would be no green belt. So it's always been my position that the board should not allow grazing on the green belt so that all residents can enjoy the same level of use. And my personal opinions don't really matter outside of that. I just think we have a job and a duty to make sure that it's maintained in a usable manner for all residents. And if the sheep are not on the green belt, I don't care. I don't care about the sheep.
Anybody else?
I agree with what you said.
Andrew, you good? All right, well, there went old business. Any new business?
I'm sorry.
Let's move back to old business.
All right.
Ronnie, do you know anything more about Oak Ridge and the attorney, if they've done anything?
I know nothing more than what we discussed at the last meeting.
Okay. I was kind of hoping that there would be somebody new that I could talk to, but it's
The,
back to Todd Starr.
the county administrator at this moment is Greg Schulte, and the commissioners are negotiating with Peter, I lost the last name, who is from Phoenix area, as a new county administrator. It'll be in the paper Thursday.
Okay.
They are negotiating to hire a new county administrator. That's where I think the direction I have to go to resolve that issue.
Okay, I'm gonna follow up on it, because, we're getting into the point where we're gonna be right back in So, with the snow and they evidently don't do much. I mean, his time frame is horrible. Todd Stars, I mean. And that's really all I got in the old business was the stuff.